Jay, how are you?
I'm doing great, my man. Can't tell you how good I'm doing.
Here at Syndicate sparring, how was that?
Oh, I got 4 rounds in today. It's my final day of sparring, so I got 2 in with Marab and I got 2 in with Vince Morales, and they sucked all together. But they were good rounds. That's what I mean by that. But Marab's always good for a good push, so it's definitely a good way to end the sparring part of camp.
You're a week out. How you feeling?
I feel great, man. Like, I know that like a lot of fighters, or like every fighter known to man has ever said, I'm in the greatest shape of my life, and you know that's like to sell the fight or themselves. But I can confidently say I've done everything. Like every resource that was available to me, I've used over the last 2.5 months. I am here every day, you know. So I quite literally have never been in better shape than I am right now. So I'm excited to go in there.
That's awesome. But before we talk about your fight, gotta ask you about these fucking tattoos that you got, man. They're fantastic.
So I get a tattoo for every victory that I have. So I have 10.
Which one's your favorite?
Oh, they all have different meanings to me. Okay. You know what I mean? So some of them are for a couple of dead friends. I have some dead friends on me. This one is, well, these 2 are particularly special to me. I had a mentor. The Joker name, the moniker, comes from an old teacher of mine. When I was 13, I struggled a lot with mental health issues, and I was institutionalized at one point in my life, and my mentor, I had a lot of struggle with that, really taught me that the Joker is a madman, and he knows that he's a madman, and everybody obviously knows that he's a homicidal maniac. But beyond all that, he accepts himself for who he is, and he doesn't have to change because he's all right with himself. And so my mentor really tried to push that idea onto me, is that yes, you are a madman, and that will never change, but you can love yourself for who you are and still live a life full of smiles and laughs. So the Joker tattoo, that's where that comes from for me. This is another thing, just like that. I had a mentor, and this is kind of a reflection of myself. It just shows that a good teacher can change your life. So those are the 2 ones that really mean a lot to me.
Thank you for sharing that.
Of course.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
And you got a Wu-Tang.
Wu-Tang Forever. This is a dead friend one right here. This is a dead friend one. So
what's your favorite Wu-Tang song?
Oh God, I love the whole 36 Chambers album. I can't pick one. You know, they're just so good. Method Man's my favorite. Meth is forever my favorite. So anything that he starts out with, any of them, I can't pick them. Honestly, 36 Chambers, the whole album, front to back. You know what I mean? Because you don't have albums that people listen from 1 to the end anymore. So like it's just timeless.
Absolutely. I wanted to go back to your UFC debut, man. What did you learn from that fight?
I learned that I can stick in it with the best of them, baby. You know, even on short notice. You know, I remember hearing the name Mario Batista, and my manager, we're signed by the same agency, which is whatever. But I knew Mario was a killer. You know, he has a knockout over Miles Johns. He just ran through Josh Kelleher. You know what I mean? Like, he's got good knockouts. That didn't scare me. You know what I mean? It wasn't like I got in there and he hit me and I'm like, this guy's not anything I haven't seen before. I just learned that through my performance, I can be what I know I am capable of being, and it just actually gave me encouragement. You know, even though I lost, I lose far less than I win. So, 1 loss here and there after 9 in a row, I was due. So I got a good loss against a good opponent. If I'd lost to like a bum, I would be more upset and be a little bit discouraged by that. But Mario, like I said, just killed Josh Kelleher, who's not a bum himself, so I think he'll be top 15, and all that showed to me was that even on my worst day, I can keep up with potential top 15 people in the world, and that just drove me forward through this whole game. So the loss sucked. I wish I would have gotten it, but I learned a lot more from that, I think, than I would have had I won. So it was a blessing in disguise.
Gotcha. All right, so UFC 278, fast forward,
yes,
Utah, sold out crowd.
Yes, sir.
First of all, have you been to Utah?
No, I haven't, so that'll be an experience. I've been warned about several things about Utah. It's the Mormon Empire.
Absolutely. You excited to be in front of a sold out crowd?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fans?
The Apex is wonderful, but it feels more like a regional fight, if that makes sense, because it's so intimate. It's the word that I can say, because you can hear everybody. And not that you can't hear anybody in a big crowd, but like 30,000 people, all that shit is just noise. You know what I mean? It's just noise at that point, and that's what we live for. You know what I mean? We live for the walk I'm about to make. You know, and you can either look at it as something that is a giant hill that you have to, or you could be like, look, man, this is what I've been wanting for my whole life. So like, I can't be anything but excited to walk out through the tunnel. Finally, it's a tunnel that I'm gonna walk through, and there's gonna be 30,000 people. You know what I mean? And like, I've waited since I was 14 to do this. So like, I don't know. It's an indescribable feeling of like, I have to like keep the excitement and also the anxiety. It's a bunch of feelings mixed into one, and I guess navigating that is what makes people different, you know. And for me, I love crowds. I love boos. I've been booed most of my career, if you've ever watched it. I talk a lot of shit. UFC fans, you'll get to know me. But like, it's nice to hear cheers, you know. Maybe I'll get a USA chant, you know. That would be great, you know. I love the fans. That's why we do it. They're not nice to me all the time, but that's part of it, you know. So it's going to be a really, really magical experience. Like, the dream come true is now. The Apex is wonderful, and you fight for the UFC, and that's a check mark. But to walk out on a big card, not just like a fight night card that people are like, I'm not going to watch. People are going to watch this card. So like, it's my opportunity to show out and show everybody why I'm here. So I'm very excited to make that walk.
And on top of that, you get Aoriqileng, where you guys are just going to come forward. First of all, what do you think of the matchup?
I think the matchmakers did a good job. I do. I think after my last fight, I proved that I'm willing to stand there and trade with people. My boxing's good enough to do all that. Aoriqileng he's deceptive because he appears to have more tools than he does, but he's hyper aggressive, you know. And there's two versions of him, and he's either going to back up. He backed up a little bit against Cameron Else. I don't think he's going to do that against me. I think that me and him are going to stand in the middle and trade a little bit, and we're going to figure out who's going to take a back step first. And that shit sets my teeth on edge. I love that idea. I have this, that photo of Nate Diaz. He's got all the blood all over him. He's fucking throwing. I want that more than anything, you know. And I think Aoriqileng's the guy to give it to me. He's got a big right hand. He's going to come forward at me. He's not going to stop. But again, I've said it before, and this is just a fact. You got sat down by a 25er more than one time. So I'm not a 25er. So I really do think one of my right hands is going to connect on his jaw, and he's going to fall down, and that's going to be the end of it. So I'm hoping we get fight of the night. I really think that is a sleeper fight of the night. If you don't know me or him, you're going to realize that it's two guys that are willing to just kill each other, and they're both willing to either come out of that cage with our shield or on it. So I think the fans will be thoroughly entertained by us, for sure.
Kind of already hinted at it, but at the end of the day, how do you get your hand raised?
Oh, see, the thing is that I don't look for things that are too specific. I just know I'm gonna finish the man. A lot of my finishes come with, I've hit you and you wobble and then you fall down, I take your neck. So that's, don't fix what's not broken, If it goes to the ground, I fully believe that I have more skills than him and I can choke him. On the feet, it's a little bit more evenly matched, but his chin isn't quite what I think that it is. His head movement is there, but I think that I'm going to give you a well-rounded performance of mixed martial arts. I'm going to crack him one. Watch this left hook. My left hook's going to come, it's going to touch him, he's going to realize what kind of fight he's in. He's going to fall down. So finish is coming one way or another.
And, Cameron Else fought him last. Cameron Else did his training camp here. So I guess, did you have a lot of experience from training partners and John Wood, kind of just knowing what to prepare for him?
So Cam hasn't been here for this camp. He had to go back to London, I think. But we did, because Coach Wood has been in the ring with him and seen what he does. And we also have Max Laley, who has been really pivotal because he also fought Aoriqileng back in China. And so he has experience with that. And we've just studied tape and countless hours of just watching and studying this guy. I'm ready for anybody. That's the thing. It's like, I know that people prepare for specific people, and then they go, oh, if you're preparing for somebody, and then they get a different opponent. That shouldn't be it. You know what I mean? I'm preparing for right now. Even though Aljo's my good friend, I'm preparing to fight people of that caliber. So like, I'm prepared for a world champion version of Aoriqileng. So I think you should be ready for anybody at any time. When people are like, you want to look at this, you want to look at that. No, whoever's coming can get the smoke. It doesn't matter. I should be good enough to do that. So yeah, it's been really good. My teammates have been Marab, Vince, O'Day Osborne. You know what I mean? All these guys push me every day to the point where I've left here crying. I've thrown up. You know what I mean? I've done all that stuff. So I earned it. I earned it through this camp, and I think the hard work's definitely going to translate.
And then, do you feel like this is going to be your reintroduction to the UFC audience?
Yes, 100%. 100%. You guys are gonna, like, I've said for years that I don't want to be a guy that gets here and leaves, and just, you know, the guy that's, you know, I got to the UFC, I did it, you know, and then you lost 4 times, and it's like, well, were you? You know what I mean? Were you really part of that? And so, like, for me, it's not enough to win. I have to win emphatically, because I have to show everybody I belong here. You know, I proved that a little bit in the last fight, but now it's like, I'm here to stay. So that's the idea. I'm gonna go in there and prove to everybody around the world who I am, where I'm from, and why I belong to be here, why I work as hard as I do. You know, there's nobody that's here more than me. You know, at the PI, there's nobody there that's more than me. I work harder than fucking anybody. Maybe I'm not the most talented guy in the room, but I damn sure will outdog you. So that's it. That's really it. You guys are gonna get to know the clown that goes into the cage and goes a little bit buck wild. You know, so I can't wait for that. I really can't wait to make my introduction to the world. I've waited for this since I was 14 years old. So if you know, some guy from, you know, a different state or a different country thinks he's gonna stand in the way of that door, he's got another fucking thing coming. You know what I mean? He's just, you know, I got a life to provide for. You know what I mean? I got shit that I got to do, and every shot that I've called, I've made. Every single shot that I've called, I've made. I've made that. I've forced it into existence, and I guarantee you that this will be no different. So they're gonna get to know me very, very well, and I'm gonna run my mouth until they tell me to leave.
God damn, that was a mic drop. Jay, thank you so much for your time, man. I really appreciate it. If you want to plug your social media, plug any sponsors you might got, you want to thank anybody, the floor is yours.
Of course. First, I'd like to thank Coach John Wood, everybody here at Syndicate. You know, this is my team and my home and my family, and I love everybody here, so thank you all for the opportunity. The UFC, obviously, for signing a kid like me from nowhere. Sponsors, I have a couple, not off the top of my head, because I got hit for 45 minutes, so off the top of my head I can't think of them, but if you are my sponsor, thanks. Iridium Sports Agency, and of course, big shout out to my manager Lance, who, quite honestly, without him I wouldn't be in this position at all. So thank you, Lance, and everybody that supports me back home, my family, my nephew, and my baby cousin, who I have not met yet. I can't wait to meet you after this fight and give you a bunch of kisses all over your face. And then after this, baby, I'm going to Star Wars Land with my woman, so you can catch me in Sith robes after the fight in Disneyland. So that's going to be it.
Make sure to subscribe to the LowKickMMA YouTube channel for all the latest news, event previews, and interviews with some of the biggest stars in MMA.